Hello, everyone, and welcome to the August and September edition of our monthly movie reviews. We were going to do August and September together anyway because both of these months the studios are like, fuck it, you know? So this year, for August and September, we added 2 TV shows because there weren't enough things that we hated enough and or loved enough this month. So, you know, we got to start off angry and we got to end off on a high note. So, yeah. Now it's time for the movies and television. That doesn't sound right.
So check this out, man. This is the album.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's good, so you don't got nothing.
It's probably not good.
You trying to tell me it's not good? I heard veteran. Like, what else do I need to know?
It's music.
It's music.
This
is garbage.
It's beautiful.
I had more fun watching Ghost Rider 2.
I never saw that movie.
I had more fun watching Green Lantern.
Mother.
They made a meme out of my legacy, darling.
In Season 1 of 13 Reasons Why, they attempted to make assault sexy. In Season 2 of 13 Reasons Why, they attempted to make assault and school shooting sexy. In Season 3 of 13 Reasons Why, they attempted to humanize a rapist? I won't lie, when I saw the first teaser for the 3rd season, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought, oh wow, maybe the show can go in a direction that isn't goddamn stupid. But oh man, did they go in a direction that is so iffy and so wrong that it is high-key irresponsible. The entire season is used to make Bryce look like a guy who is trying to be a better person. He is trying to evolve and show that he is not a bad guy anymore, and this just does not work in the slightest. Did you guys see the previous 2 seasons? This is a bad dude.
I took her, I turned her around, and I fucked her from behind. Hard. Until she cried. Is that what you want to hear?
If this was a real man, nobody would care. Why was this allowed? This show was bad, and I'm giving it a 1 out of 10. Nothing else in this season matters. This show is bad.
This new season of 13 Reasons Why,
it's not good.
it's interweaving 3 different timelines and they're all presented in the ugliest way possible. The desaturated colors look horrendous, the black and white looks horrendous, the transitions between the timelines are not impressive in the slightest. Overall, it's never been that great looking of a show, and I'm sure it's been all over the internet, but it goes without saying that the inclusion of the character Ani was one of the biggest mistakes of the entire show. It's not the actress's fault at all, so I'm not blaming her, but there is no good reason to spend most of your 3rd season through the point of view of a character we don't even know, who is British for some reason. It mostly felt like an attempt to make the cringy narration of their shitty whodunit plots sound good, but somehow it made it worse. The effort to redeem Bryce after all this time left me in awe of how poorly thought out and executed this whole show is. You cannot have a character who is a serial rapist be redeemed by suddenly making him a sympathetic character if you show him as a one-dimensional villain for 2 straight seasons. I'm not saying you can't turn the jock asshole archetype into a tragedy, but there's another show that's doing it well, and we'll get to it later. But the way this show goes about redemption is that it follows its awful philosophy, which is to reveal information by treating it as a twist for shock value. It becomes predictable after a while, and when you try to make every character's development an M. Night Shyamalan twist level revelation, it's just annoying. It's not smart either, it's just fucking tacky. In conclusion, there's so many things to pick apart on this show, but I'm gonna stop here for now because I want to talk about movies, and I'm giving 13 Reasons Why Season 3 a 1 out of 10.
I never saw that movie.
I had more fun watching Green Lantern.
Mother.
They made a meme out of my legacy, darling.
Hey, you know what'd be a great idea? If we took a film that barely anyone has seen, which is universally praised amongst critics and its cult audience alike, and remake it and add nothing essential or impactful at all, so no one besides some idiot on YouTube will see it. What if we took this interesting character study and split the character of Jacob into 2 characters so we can set up this twist that the audience will see coming from a mile away so we can embarrass ourselves? And you know what? To save our energy, I think we should phone it in on every aspect of filmmaking possible. It would be cool if we did what mediocre films do, but do it worse. I would very much like it if my Jacob's Ladder remake had all those things. And I'm giving Jacob's Ladder a 1 out of 10.
I never saw that movie.
I had more fun watching Green Lantern.
Mother.
They made a meme out of my legacy, darling.
Otherhood is bad.
Patricia Arquette shouldn't be in this film because she's an Oscar-winning actress. Angela Bassett shouldn't be in this film because she's too good for this shit. And Felicity Huffman shouldn't be in this film because she should be in jail for longer than 14 days.
I laughed once, but it was like a half laugh. It was like a it wasn't like, wow, this is comedy, you know? Before watching the film, I ate a bunch of edibles by accident, and when the edibles hit, it didn't even make the movie better. And the story of how I ate a bunch of edibles by accident is way more interesting than Otherhood. And I'm giving Otherhood a 2 out of 10.
I never saw that movie.
I had more fun watching Green Lantern.
Mother.
They made a meme out of my legacy, darling.
Angel Has Fallen is the third film in the Whatever Has Fallen universe, and I hope to God it is the last one. This movie is so cliche and cookie cutter. You can tell what is going to happen right from the opening scene. It is not creative. Gerard Butler is old as hell now, so he just looks tired. Also, at the end of the movie, Gerard Butler sacrifices like 9 soldiers just to pretend to save President Morgan Freeman, and I thought that was super wild. Okay, that's it. Olympus Has Fallen 3 is a 2 out of 10. Why not a 1? I don't know. I kind of like Gerard Butler's dad in the movie. He was watchable, I guess.
Angel Has Fallen is the third film in the Has Fallen series. It could have been a mediocre schlockfest, or it could have risen to the occasion like Den of Thieves did, but it's poorly written and directed. The editing and cinematography in tandem are fucking nauseating. If you're shooting and editing action scenes like this, still, when The Raid and John Wick exist, then you need to reevaluate your direction in life. Like, are you even paying attention to the pulse of your genre? Like, what the fuck? Also, can we please stop casting Danny Houston and Tim Blake Nelson as villains, especially when they have to do a heel turn in the middle of the film? As soon as I saw them on screen, I was immediately suspicious of their friendship with Morgan Freeman and Gerard Butler's characters. And I don't think that was completely intentional, because the way they're revealed is not like, oh, this was inevitable and you know it. It was like, ooh, didn't see that one coming, right? Well, I did, and I'm giving Angel Has Fallen a 3 out of 10.
I never saw that movie.
I had more fun watching Green Lantern.
Mother.
They made a meme out of my legacy, darling.
47 Meters Down 2 Uncaged is devoid of any basic logic, unbearably generic, and has some of the worst performances I have seen all year. Why did a fish scream underwater? This movie was so dumb, like oh my god. The film, however, presents claustrophobia pretty well. The main characters are placed in an underground cave or tavern or some shit, and it felt like I was there with them. The setting was great, but hearing them all talk crystal clear underwater was so fucking stupid. Also, just in general, jump scares are dumb. I hate when a horror film has to rely on jump scares. I'm giving 47 Meters Down 2 a 2 out of 10.
47 Meters Down Uncaged exists for some reason, and it's bad. The first film isn't good, but it was pretty entertaining, and this film is not that at all. It's boring, and the fact that you don't care about the characters or the situations they're placed in because they're stupid and lack depth doesn't help its case either, and I'm giving 47 Meters Down Uncaged, even though there's no cage for them to uncage themselves from, a 3 out of 10.
I never saw that movie.
I had more fun watching Green Lantern.
Mother.
They made a meme out of my legacy, darling.
Brittany Runs a Marathon had potential to be an okay film through the characterization of this millennial who can't get her life together because of her past trauma, but this film is basically a starter pack for micro-budget films about a single white girl in Manhattan. I laughed a couple times, but it's a film and not a stand-up comedy special. There is no quality that this film possesses that those other films don't, besides an embarrassing third act. I feel like I've seen this film like a million times, and I'm giving Brittany Runs a Marathon a 3 out of 10.
I never saw that movie.
I had more fun watching Green Lantern.
Mother.
They made a meme out of my legacy, darling.
Rambo Last Blood is the most wild film I have seen in a long time. I really don't want to say anything except go see this movie. The last 30 minutes alone are worth the price of admission. It is absolutely nuts. Go see it. I'm giving Rambo Last Blood a 3 out of 10.
I never saw that movie.
I had more fun watching Green Lantern.
Mother.
They made a meme out of my legacy, darling.
It Chapter 2, more like Shit Chapter 2, am I right? This film was so unnecessary. It's the same movie again, but with adults. Besides the structure of the film being repetitive, the actual plot itself is beyond tedious. The group splits up for literally no reason. They even point out how stupid that is in the film, but the dismissal of that obvious objection was not satisfying enough of an answer. They even lose their memory of the events in the first film for some reason, so the conclusion of the third act is pretty much the exact same as before. There's so many moments in the film where the director forgot what the tone of his movie was. The production design and cinematography I felt was more improved in this film than the first, but the rest of it was inessential. But it wasn't nearly as bad as the first one for me. I really hated the first one. Shit Chapter 2 is just like mediocre and bloated, and I'm giving Shit Chapter 2 a 5 out of 10.
It Chapter 2? More like Shit Chapter 2, am I right? This movie is somehow worse than the first movie. Oh my god, it is so dumb. The movie starts off with a gay man being brutally beaten by homophobe Trump supporters, and then his punishment for being beaten is being brutally murdered by Pennywise. Why the hell is this in the movie? Whatever, that's what the movie starts off as, and it honestly is just downhill from there. And it is just the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. The adult loser goes to a place to get a thing, and is scared by Pennywise, and then runs away. We see this with every character, and it literally goes on for about an hour. It made the film feel heavily unfocused. Also, listening to the Younger Losers Club talk is super wild. It sounds like they are editing their voice to make them sound younger, and you can definitely hear it. What the actual fucking shit is that? Of course, this movie relies on jump scares to get its scares across. Jump scares are lazy as shit, and horror films should just stop having them altogether. It Chapter 2 is a solid 3 out of 10. I liked the chemistry between the actors throughout, and the effects were alright. Everything looked real, but the movie is dumb. Double also, before I forget, them being kids was more effective in the scares than them being adults. As adults, it's like, okay, get over it, you're 45 years old.
I never saw that movie.
I had more fun watching Green Lantern.
Mother.
They made a meme out of my legacy, darling.
If you smell...
Hashtag Fate was the greatest cinematic event in film history.
I will beat you like a Cherokee drum.
So it just makes sense to me that the two most important actors of our time, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Jason Statham, get their own film that centers around the characters of Hobbs and Shaw. I really don't expect much from this film, just balls to the wall action for 2 hours, please. This is literally all we need. That and some quipping.
Did you bring the cavalry?
Woman, I am the cavalry.
Wow, I really can't believe I am saying this, but Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw was bad. Not like so bad it's amazing like the previous Fast and Furious films, like so bad that it is bad. This movie is not funny, none of the action seems real, and to be honest, it is kind of boring. There's this one bit of The Rock punching through a car window to pick up a guy on a motorcycle, and that was pretty cool, but otherwise, it is super annoying and too long. Idris Elba is too over the top, if that's even possible in a Fast film. We should have just gotten hashtag F9 here, because this is so bland. I honestly do not recommend watching this. I'm giving Hobbs and Shaw a 4 out of 10, which is wild because I love this franchise and want it to succeed. Maybe next year, fingers crossed.
Hobbs and Shaw is an experiment in seeing if you could milk more content out of the Fast and Furious franchise, and the answer is yes. Yes, you can. But it will be missing every single thing that made Fast and Furious watchable in the first place. Don't get me wrong, there are some enjoyable moments in the film, like the opening sequence with the split screen, but it goes on for a little too long. There's a bunch of surprise cameos in the film, but those bits last too long. The action is absolutely ridiculous, and guess what? It lasts too long. The banter between The Rock and Jason Statham that was a heavy selling point in the film's trailers didn't progress at all, and it was very one note. There was a point in the film where I had to pee, and I decided to bank on the point between the second and third act to go because I thought maybe nothing will happen of substance while I'm gone. I came back, and my friend leaned towards me and said, "You literally didn't miss anything." And that's the same thing I'm gonna tell you if you decide to skip Hobbs and Shaw. And I'm giving Hobbs and Shaw a 4 out of 10.
I never saw that movie.
I had more fun watching Green Lantern.
Mother.
They made a meme out of my legacy, darling.
Abominable plays out like any other below average animated film of today, except it is watchable. See it if you want, but like you really don't have to if you don't want to. 5 out of 10.
I never saw that movie.
I had more fun watching Green Lantern.
Mother.
They made a meme out of my legacy, darling.
The Goldfinch is the latest film directed by John Crowley, who directed Brooklyn, which was just fine. A lot of people liked it, but everyone has mostly forgotten about it, and I'm pretty sure the same thing is gonna happen with The Goldfinch. Minus the part where people like it because it's getting hammered by critics. As I was watching the film, I was like, wow, this film is beautifully lit, and then the credits came up and it said it was shot by Roger Deakins, and I was like, of course, duh. But other than that, this film is a mess. From someone who hasn't read the book, it felt like a lot was missing. The setup and the payoff didn't flow together at all. This film is already 2.5 hours long, but even then, the story had no time to breathe and get me invested in anything or anyone. Nicole Kidman gives a good performance though, but she's barely in it. I don't see any reason for me to recommend this film to you unless you need to see every film Roger Deakins has shot just to say you have. And I'm giving The Goldfinch a 5 out of 10.
I never saw that movie.
I had more fun watching Green Lantern.
Mother.
They made a meme out of my legacy, darling.
Scary stories to tell in the dark is not scary. It is not fun, and it is not thought-provoking in any way. I went into this movie thinking, wow, am I really going to see a terrifying film in the cinema? But instead, I was presented with another horror film, again, reliant on jump scares that was honestly well made, but just not scary. I get scared from real-life things like a random noise in my house, or someone coming up to me around the corner and screaming boo, so I expected to be at least a little scared from this. But it was just not scary. I guess you can watch it around Halloween time and be like, okay, I guess. It is a well-made film, the camera work is well done, the story is acceptable, it is just not scary, and I think that is its biggest fault. I'm giving Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark a 5 out of 10.
I never saw that movie.
I had more fun watching Green Lantern.
Mother.
They made a meme out of my legacy, darling.
Good Boys was really stupid, but I laughed a lot. This film, like many of its contemporaries, is mostly a comedy until it wants to be a drama right before the third act. But even then, it was making fun of itself. Molly Gordon is without a doubt the best part of this movie, and also she was really great in Booksmart, so go see that again. And I'm giving Good Boys a 5 out of 10. Its mediocrity just didn't offend me too hard, I guess.
Good Boys was a pretty funny movie. The beginning feels super unfocused, and it takes a long time for the movie to actually start moving. You will definitely feel it when you watch. It isn't until 30 minutes in that the movie actually starts off, and when it does, oh man, you're in for some good laughs. I think all the kids did a great job, but I was really enthralled by Keith Williams' performance. Man did his best work, and he was amazing to watch. Loved him. I also want to talk about the end really fast. At the end we see, oh wait, spoilers if you didn't see the movie. Skip ahead to right here if you just want to see my rating and not want to hear any of the spoilers. Okay, here I go. Okay, so we see the kids split apart because of life, but then they coincidentally get back together at a party and they share this super emotional moment of pure friendship and hug for a really long time. No joke, it kind of brought a tear to my eye. It's like, yeah, you can grow apart with some friends due to life being life, but no matter what, you will always be pals, and you will always love each other. It was great, and reminded me of my life a little with friends that don't live close to me from school or from home. Super great ending. Okay, I'm giving Good Boys a 6 out of 10.
We'll see you guys tomorrow for part 2. Also, please do not forget to hit the like button, and please subscribe if you haven't already. We love you. Okay, bye bye, see you tomorrow.